Now, if you know me, I'm not the biggest video game player. I kind of like playing more story games and less multiplayer these days. But what I'm getting sick of seeing nearly on a weekly basis now is shit like this. So I'm sure everyone's heard there's this new Gollum game out now, and it's been not very well received. And obviously the creators of the video game, Daedalic Entertainment, I believe it's pronounced, have released this statement. And the statement goes on to say, "Dear players, we would like to sincerely apologise for the underwhelming experience many of you have had with the Lord of the Ring Gollum." The Lord of the Ring? The Lord of the Rings, man. They don't even know what their game's called. "We acknowledge and deeply regret that the game did not meet the expectations we set for ourselves or for our dedicated community. Please accept our sincere apologies for any disappointment this may have caused." Now you might be saying, yo, that's just Joe. You're being a bit too harsh, alright? They fucked up. They're doing this now. Nah, we've seen too much of this. There's been too much of this. Thanks to Dolan Dark for kind of putting this together. But here's other statements from other video game developers who have done a very similar thing. You know, Cyberpunk, Bethesda, the Jedi Survivor game. Obviously, PC players were having major issues with the gameplay on that. Forspoken, Redfall, Halo Infinite, Gollum again, Battlefield. Like, the list goes on. And basically, the main thing is bugs and the game not working properly. And it's just becoming so common. I'm kind of getting sick of it. Now, to be honest, when I played Jedi Survivor, which I've completed now, I didn't have many issues. It probably crashed once, but I was playing it for like 24 hours straight at that point. So I don't blame my PS5 being like, do you know what? Fuck this. But these companies need to sort out their video games. Redfall is a banger of an example because that game is absolutely terrible from what I've seen. I've not played it personally, but it doesn't look fun. It looks very gimmicky. It's, oh god, the designs I don't like, but the gameplay doesn't look fun at all. It kind of reminds me of Back 4 Blood. I was so disappointed in that game. I was seething when I bought it. The gameplay was just awful. The graphics were awful. There was bugs all the time, and these games are having the same problems. One of the things I've noticed with video games is that they do in-game cinematics. So they actually use the gameplay that is there and everything to create the cinematics, and they're always really buggy, and it kind of throws me off when playing the story of a game. Like Jedi Survivor, I was getting bugs all the time during the cinematics, and like, you know, when they're trying to explain the story, you know, Cal would suddenly just go, "Yes, master. I love the Force." And I'm kind of getting frustrated with it. What has happened to the old days where they kind of just create the cinematics with graphics and everything, but not using the in-game engine? I kind of miss those days. I know that's not the main issue. The main issue is bugs and gameplay not working or crashing all the time. Textures not rendering. I'm not an expert. I'm really not. But this Gollum game is two things. One, it's not working properly, and two, the gameplay and the whole experience is terrible apparently. But this is really disappointing just to see more of this. Like Dolan posted, it's gutting. It's really gutting because the video game industry is just really poor at the moment. I mean, Naughty Dog, obviously they were going to make a Last of Us multiplayer game, and they've been developing it since part 2, I believe, and it was supposed to come out with part 2, but, you know, they're saying, oh, it's going to take a lot longer now, sorry, we're going to need to... They haven't even done an announcement of a date. Like, they haven't even done that. So why are they telling us it's delayed when they haven't even given us a date? And I don't even know about a Last of Us multiplayer experience. What am I going to be doing? I've seen Ellie around going, Ellie, or, you know, just, you know, having a shit life. Like, I don't want to do that. Especially after watching the TV show, I don't want to live in that world. But also the thing to kind of bear in mind is that they have cut down the staff working on this, the developers working on this, and that's really disappointing to hear. And I think that's one of the main reasons. But also I do think it's to do with the game itself. Like, it's not working properly, the gameplay's crap, the bugs and everything. Video games are very hard to make. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that for a fact. Video games are very hard to make. You can never get them perfect upon release, but when you're promising a product and you spend lots of money on it, and then you play it and it doesn't work, that has to be sorted. Video game companies need to be more honest I think that's one of the main things video games need to do now is that was random. Is just be a bit more honest. They need to delay stuff. They just delayed by a year the Suicide Squad game, the Suicide Squad killed the Justice League or whatever. So I'm like, okay, there's definitely something wrong with the game. Obviously, the reaction to it wasn't great. Shooting purple bits for 48 hours. I'm okay. And I'm not saying these statements. I'm not saying they need to do these statements. What I'm saying is they need to get to the grind earlier, and also, like, if the video game is just about to come out, but they know there are problems with it, like they knew with Jedi Survivor, they need to let their audience know that what they're buying is not the finished product. There has to be a change in how video game developers communicate with us, like how they communicate with us. I'm getting bored of seeing these statements. It's time to change it up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. May the Force be with you. It's the wrong thing we're talking about.